Boy.
It is live.
Oh, God.
We'll be in a minute here. Yeah, we are now.
Lord.
So we'll give people a minute.
Just a minute.
Or two.
Or 10.
To creep on into the chat.
Creep on in.
Creep on in.
Oh, let me creep on in.
The night owls, the creepy crawlers. The things that go bump in the night. So, okay, it says there's one viewer.
Oh, boy.
Woohoo! We have one viewer.
Well, that's fine.
Jennifer Delaney, she's the first one here. She says, hey guys, happy Easter. Hey, Jennifer.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. And Rich says, I missed the show, but I'm glad I made it for the Hangover.
Happy Ishtar.
Hey, Rich, you could check out the replay later on if you like. I think some of the films are worth a watch. And some of the weird stuff Grim says is worth a watch.
Of course.
John says, hey guys, that was quick. Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm working on it.
Albert says, hey, Janet and Grim, glad I was able to tune in live tonight. Great show earlier.
Albert.
Thank you, Albert.
We need to go eat sometime, man. Miss hanging out with you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, Albert's cool. Raymond Troyanovich says, hey, guys. Hey, Raymond. Cool.
Man.
All right. Well, we'll get started in a minute here.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that everyone's having a good holiday weekend.
Yep, kick it off with the Good Friday. All good. Got some good food planned for the weekend. Going to change it up a little bit from the ham to something else, which is going to be fun.
Steak and
potato salad.
Potato salad.
Maybe beans. I don't know what the heck I'm going to make.
Like kind of like picnic food, right?
Yeah.
Like grilled steak with potato salad.
Take me away. I love it. Sounds good. I could totally rock with that.
Yeah, we wanted a break from
I'm not a traditional. Well, I do like tradition, but the traditions I make up, not someone else made up.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to try something different.
Yeah, switch it up. Just like, you know, in the bedroom. You know, I got to switch it up.
Grim, stop using those references.
Just saying.
Like, you did that once before.
No, I'm saying, you have pictures hanging up in your bedroom. You know, sometimes you have to change the pictures up. Just
rearrange your decor.
So you're not looking at the same stuff every time you go to sleep in your bedroom. That's all I do in my bedroom. Okay. What do you do in yours? Something different I don't know about?
I sleep in my sarcophagus here.
Okay, that's your bedroom, right. So mine, I need to change it up a little bit.
You're making me hungry, says Ed.
Because we're talking about
bedrooms? No, because we're talking about food earlier.
Oh, I'm making myself hungry. I know.
John Biggin says, I was first to hit the like button. Oh, thank you, John.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, food. Food is weird because anything could be food to anything. Like we could be food to an animal. You know what I'm saying? We eat food, but we could also be food. We will be food one day if you don't get cremated to worms and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. If they get through that vault and get through the
worms and the bugs,
embalming stuff,
all the creepy crawlies,
whatever's left over, whatever can get through the concrete vault.
It's like you go back into the earth.
Well, if you're buried, most people are buried in a vault, and I don't know what can get, but you know what I mean. The bacteria.
Oh my goodness!
What?
You go on these weird tangents.
But that's what the Hangover is, a tangent-driven show. It
really is. We just talk about whatever.
Yeah, it's a little bit looser, and gosh knows what. I mean, to me, that's more fascinating when I see people talk about just whatever, like stream of consciousness.
Well, Bone Jangler's here. He says Late Night with the Devil trailer was just on. Oh, cool. Yeah, we're going to have to see that movie.
I am dying to see that.
We keep hearing that it's good. There's a lot of good movies coming out.
We love David Desmalchian.
Like Ghostbusters is out, and we heard that that's pretty good.
Yes, he was kind enough to invite us to a... No, I haven't heard good things about Ghostbusters, to be honest with you.
Oh, I heard some people said they liked it.
I've heard some people that really like it were very disappointed in it, said it was kind of just dry. The jokes were old.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll wait. I'll wait. Because, we don't go to the theater much anyways. Usually I just wait till it's on video for movies.
The only reason we don't go
I'm patient about that because there's so many movies to watch.
The reason why we don't go is I always pick the seat where the one idiot has the cell phone is right in front of me. I don't know why that is. They know I'm going to be there.
Or there's the people talking too much, or they've got the snacks and they're right behind you, or right in front of you.
Discover a bowl, dude. I mean, why do you got? They shouldn't. Number one, theaters shouldn't sell noisy snacks. It's kind of not their fault.
Well,
but it's still there's always that guy.
We just we have our little pet peeves about going to the theater, so we don't.
But I do love the movie theaters. I like the experience.
Yes, I love it.
Behaves themselves.
As long as there's no people around.
Yeah, just for me. Well, you can rent them out now and do that.
Or you could go to a matinee when there's not as many people.
So yeah, I know. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're getting off subject here.
Anyways.
What were we talking about?
Or were we ever on subject?
No, that's the beautiful thing. It's a free-for-all.
Okay, so let's introduce ourselves.
Oh, start the show. Kick it
Let's
off
start
officially?
the show and kick it off officially, and then we can read some comments and talk about other stuff.
That's how I start off officially. I got another
Okay.
one coming. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Hey! And on that note, hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of The Mummy and the Monkeys
Hairy Scary Hangover.
And I'm working on mine. Hopefully you're working on yours. Tell us what you're drinking in the chats or whatever you're doing. What did George Carlin say? Drink, snort, rub into your belly? Anyway.
Anyways,
Drink, snort, smart, run your
it's
belly.
our after show
Yes.
chat show. We just wrapped up episode 231 of the
Woo.
Hairy Scary Hangout.
Unbelievable.
And we showed a collection of short films. There were some old-timey, like Alice in Wonderland films. There was Little Red Riding Hood. That was all stop-motion animated.
So episode 231, would that make us the hardest working horror host in no business? Just kidding. I don't know what we're doing, but we're having fun, that's for sure.
Well, it's no business of mine. We stick to what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
No,
You know,
I love it.
I like the horror hosts. I
I am
like the
not-
other horror hosts. It's
Of
just,
course.
you know, we do our own thing.
Didn't say anything. It's a James Brown, the hardest working man in show business.
Ah.
Well, a lot of horror hosts do say the thing like how they don't make any money doing horror. You don't do it for the money, I should say.
You do it for the love of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of us do agree with that. But if you can make a buck or two here and there, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, especially if it keeps the show going, because that's the number one thing. Is like, or not the number one thing, but it is not a bad thing. Is if you're able to actually generate at least enough money to keep the show that you're doing
Well, hold that thought.
for fun.
There's some comments. Roast beef. That's a really funny screen name.
Oh boy.
Says, or the couple that keeps passing gas with ease and no respect for the patrons in the theater.
Well, I don't
So it's a good thing we're not live streaming this in smell-o-vision
Well,
with all of your burps and farts.
That's true. You know what? Even the burps are toxic. That is true. I'm
Yeah.
going to switch my glasses.
Rich says, I saw Ghostbusters. It was okay. Never going to top the original.
Well, no, of course not.
It
But
was
at least-
okay. So I might wait if it's just okay.
These are much more comfortable.
I
and
think
they fit
I'll wait
better.
to see
These
it.
look all right. These other ones are slipping around my head.
It looks fine.
These are the original Grim Glory glasses, which I love. The ends broke, but you can't see them, so it's okay. But these fit great. They wrap around my eyes great.
They look fine,
The
Grim.
vision's great.
Yeah.
Bone
Bone Jangler says, I saw Godzilla versus King Kong
Oh.
last night. So much fun. But Late Night with the Devil is the bomb.
Dang, I keep hearing good stuff about that. It looks retro, like an old game show type of based idea. I don't know what it, but I the less I know about it, the more I want to see it. So let's keep it that way. Mm-hmm. But we love David. Like I said, he was nice enough to let us on that. Several years ago, explain that.
Yeah, we were on a discussion panel called Mid-May Massacre. I think it was 2021. It was a virtual event.
Was it after?
And it was actually the people who ran the convention who, I believe, invited us.
Yes, and we were on the same panel.
I don't know exactly who invited us. It might have been David or the other guys.
But whomever.
But regardless, we were part of that
Yeah.
discussion panel hosted by David Dust Melchin, and that was pretty awesome.
As is Dr. Fearless.
Yes, he
character.
was dressed as Dr. Fearless, his horror host character.
He has like he's like a vampire, but he has a Nosferatu teeth and everything.
Yes.
And he has a very good, he's got the whole thing going.
Oh yeah, doing
But,
the silly voice and everything.
We were joined by Midnight. Was it Dr. Sarcophagi?
Oh, a bunch
Marlene
of
the
hosts.
Midnight. Sven Gould, Rich Coase was there.
Yes.
But it was great. It was very fun to be a part of that panel, and I'll never forget it. And
you sent him fan art once.
because he has a comic book out too, a horror host-based comic book called Count Crowley, which is in it's like past the first bunch of second or third bunch of
and Count Crowley's a nice comic
series.
It's popular.
Yeah, so I drew a picture of the Mummy and the Monkey and Count Crowley together, and I sent it to David. David took a photograph of himself holding the drawing.
And put it on Instagram.
And it blew my mind. I mean,
That was very cool.
Such a nice dude. But yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, we hear this movie's great. He's a great character actor, but it's good to see him get some more lead roles.
It is. I like that.
To see him like burst out and do that. And he wants to make a Count Crowley movie, which could be really good for all horror hosts.
I bet that'll happen sometime.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
he has a lot of success. So.
The only horror host movie that had a horror host in it was Fright Night.
Oh,
there may have been others, but that's the one that's the coolest one.
Yeah,
because,
Fright Night, the original Fright Night was very cool.
Yeah, with Roddy McDowell.
Yeah.
He played a character that was a horror host, a late night horror host, who helped a kid fight a real vampire in real life.
It was cute.
Very good movie. If
Very
you've never seen
classic,
the original Fright Night,
1980s horror, like cheesy, fun.
The remake,
I love it.
It was horrible.
The remake.
With the who was in that? Colin
Bone Jangler
Farrell.
says Morgus had a movie.
Yes, he did.
Yes, and I don't think we've seen.
I tried to order that movie. I could probably find it. There was a DVD service that would, that burned DVDs illegally, basically.
Yeah, and Morgus was from Louisiana.
Hard to find movies. Yeah.
Baton Rouge or
Baton Rouge. Well, Chopsley.
Yeah. So he was a famous horror host down south in what, the 80s? I think the 80s.
Oh, he was 70s, 80s.
70s, 80s?
Maybe 60s even, yeah.
But he was odd, and his videos are very odd.
Well,
and he did push the envelope a little bit with some things.
Yeah, I know on the Monster Channel they reconstruct episodes of Morgus, and I used to hear Morgus on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie because
the movie was on 2 weeks ago on the Monster Channel. Morgus is on every Sunday.
Yes.
It's like a matinee.
I hear that music
Sunday afternoons.
Yes. And Chopsley. Yeah, I love. I
wish
Hack
Editor says Morgus was in Detroit briefly.
He might have been, syndicated.
So people did watch.
Yeah.
So he was on TV in other cities.
But the current host of Coast to Coast AM, George Norrie, grew up watching Morgus. He was familiar with him, and he would have Morgus on the show, to talk about whatever,
Oh, that's
so
neat.
Morgus was on Coast to Coast AM, which was a show that talked about paranormal things and whatnot.
And we still listen to Coast from time to time.
I listen to reruns of Art Bell every day. The old Art Bell
was
hosted
cool.
Show. There's a website there's probably multiple ones, but they stream constantly our old archived Art Bell shows. And but I like Morgus. I like very Zachary like, it's the same type of thing,
Not the same exactly.
No, but the character was like that. It was
like a wacky character.
He was a mad scientist.
Yeah, and really
Morgus.
Into it. Yeah. That seemed kind of like love for the character.
Yeah,
I could see that.
There was some double entendre there too, and
some of the innuendos.
It's pretty funny.
Some of it's funny.
The guy would play it straight, but you knew when he was getting crazy with stuff. But but
Connie Cleary says I love she loves Morgus.
It was. I wish that. I mean, if he was on in Cleveland, I would love to have seen that. I mean, I don't. There's not a whole lot out there, just like other horror hosts.
And John Biggin says, ever watch cooking shows? We found a guy on YouTube, Max Miller's Tasting History. He's really funny.
I love cooking shows.
You watch a lot of the cooking shows.
Back in the, let me not say that back, maybe about 10 years ago or so, or even a little bit further. Like after a night at the club.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. The next morning was rough. For some reason, cooking shows, I was hungover, but I would, on a Sunday morning, would find cooking shows and just sit there, and it would
it's kind of calming, right?
It totally was.
So if you're feeling a little crunchy,
and the food looked good. So
hang out on the couch and watch those shows and just relax a little bit.
But there's a fella on TikTok, but also on Instagram. What does he call? He's a chef guy that comments on people's TikTok recipes.
Oh yeah, you showed me those.
Oh my god, this guy kills me every time.
You showed me those.
I can't think of his name, but dang it, Chef comments or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Gosh darn it! But he's hilarious. He swears. He's like Chef Ramsay without the filter. It's great. But and if you ever want, I think it was I think Tubi has episodes of Hell's Kitchen uncensored.
They left all the swear words in. It was great.
And I loved it when it was on censored TV. But man, you would think that if you hear the swearing literally bumps it up a level. It's so much fun to watch, hear them really swear.
It's
without
funny.
the bleeps. It's like entertaining both ways. It's crazy. But yeah, I love cooking shows. So much fun. And I like to cook, so it teaches me a little bit of stuff here and there. You benefit from it.
Yeah, I like that you like to cook because I'm not a good cook. So
well, I'm just saying, but it teaches me a little bit. I mean, I'm no gourmet chef.
I end up burning water. I mean, how do you burn water?
You figured it out.
Anyways.
You use your own cooking show.
Roast Beef says,
cook show.
I used to watch Commander USA.
Now that's one too that I think I might have a couple of his episodes, but there's a ton of his episodes.
I remember seeing him on TV back in the day, but I don't remember like watching a lot of it.
Yeah, like if you do tape trading, actually now with the way people upload, I'm sure on archive.org there's probably a lot of Commander USA. Mm-hmm. So, but if you dig a little bit, there's people now with the way streaming works now and archiving and downloading. I mean, even better than Napster and better than LimeWire, because
Napster
everything is so much faster now.
You're aging yourself, girl.
Doesn't matter, but that's how it all started. All the file sharing. That you had that, but before that you had tape trading. And people that would, I've got lists and stuff still, like digital lists.
Back in my day.
No, I mean,
I know. I'm just teasing.
But there's a lot of people that I'm not upset. But there's a lot of people that would they're like-minded. And how do you find these people at conventions or on the internet? Well, before the internet, probably you would take ads out in certain sort of publications that would let people know you're looking for certain things. But yeah, but now it's easier. My point is, it's easier probably to find this stuff.
It's easier to find things, and it's easier to connect with people
like
who are also looking for those same shows or want to trade tapes or whatever.
As long as it's it's legal. You can wake up one morning and go, I want to see 70s TV commercials. Go to YouTube. There's tons
hours of it. Hours of it, and then there's people like us who look for it from the source. We look for those old tapes.
And they got that from somewhere too. That the whole point is that. It's so easy that now it's more available now than it ever was before, and like we were talking about Richard Simmons one day because that whole Richard Simmons movie was the Pauly Shore.
Yeah, there was a Richard Simmons short film that came out, and it was made without his consent.
Well, it started out with someone saying,
so he wasn't cool about it.
Looks like Richard Simmons,
and Pauly Shore played Richard Simmons in the movie.
He should do a biopic. And with Pauly Shore just sitting around doing nothing, right? I mean, he's like, hey, I could do this. He's like, got to fire up his, wild hair, and they went ahead and they created a 10-minute. Well, anyway, so it was
actually a good film.
Yeah, I was telling you, I remember Richard Simmons' old TV show in the 80s.
Yeah,
and I said, looked it up on boom. There's full episodes with commercials on YouTube.
Well, and what I think was really
from the
cool,
early 80s.
Richard Simmons actually put out a bunch of his videos on his YouTube channel. Because during COVID, he's like, well, maybe this can help people.
You're talking about the workout ones.
Yeah, the actual workout.
But my point is like something that I thought I could never see.
Well, all of his shows were involved. But it's exercise related.
Well, I don't know if you're talking about the specials he did that were directed videotape. Or were they his
all
old
of it?
TV
just
show?
Whatever he had, he put on YouTube.
Because I thought the old TV show would be the harder thing to find.
That way, when people were stuck at home during that time,
I understand that.
Yeah.
But my point is that something as obscure as an early '80s television show. If you my point is, if you can think about it or remember it, just look it up on YouTube. It's probably there. At least one episode or 10 minutes of it. It's crazy.
Okay, so
it's great.
We could talk about a movie we watched.
Yeah. No, there's one you
recently,
wanted to talk about.
And was this on Prime Video?
I think it was Amazon Prime.
Or was that Tubi?
It doesn't matter.
I think it was either Prime or Tubi, and we never saw this movie before.
How do we even find it?
And it was filmed in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, we didn't know that.
And we're like, how do we not know about this movie?
But
it was made in Cleveland, Ohio in 2013.
Oh.
And you could definitely tell the neighborhoods where they were filming.
There was a shot where it was obviously the refinery, the Cleveland factory.
Yeah, and you're like, that's Cleveland. And I'm like, yeah, that does look familiar.
That was in my backyard for 20 years. I know that thing, that structure. I mean, it's like seeing my backyard.
So they did film it there. And the movie is called Miss Meadows.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the heck is this?
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes plays Miss Meadows. So she's a substitute school teacher, and when you see her, she looks all goody-goody, like she's from the 1950s or something.
Well, yeah, baby doll socks.
Yeah, wearing little dress shoes with taps on them, so she could
tap down the street.
Tap dance while she walks down the street. Yeah, like there's something.
Yeah, she's Cooper.
Yeah, and
but.
A cute-looking lady, but dressed kind of outdated and kind of like, Miss Priss.
Out of time, but current.
Yeah. But it takes place in present day. Yeah. And she has a past, and you get to see it. It's kind of like, how should I...
No spoilers, though.
Like Pulp Fiction meets Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
It's more Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood than Pulp Fiction.
Well, a little bit of the Pulp Fiction stuff.
Yeah, because...
She's a vigilante. So she tries, because she's a teacher, she wants to protect kiddos. So she will kill. She killed people who were trying to harm others.
Yes,
I'll just say that.
And without giving anything away, because there's really there's nothing to give away, because it's the pacing.
It's still entertaining.
The style, it's very
But it
rare.
took a while to figure out, like, what her background was, like, why she was doing this.
And it's not...
Like what went on, like, in her past to want to do this.
But the way they pace it and they unfold everything was very creative and very different. Like, it had a whole different feel. And you were immersed, because you're like, well, how are they going to... And you're like, wow. I don't know how to describe it, other than it's just paced very interestingly, different, very different. Not
very
boring
different.
And not over the top, It's not the John Wick, where every 10 seconds someone's getting their head blown off, he's jumping over. It's not that at all. But it's very entertaining. It's
is entertaining, and she's badass.
Yeah, but in a low-key way.
In a low-key way. She doesn't try to call it... Like, she tries to do it secretly. Like I'm gonna, She killed this one, like, predator person, and it was...
in the beginning.
Yeah, right in one of the first scenes, and we're like, whoa. But she did it in such a way where, like...
the whole movie's not her, like, jumping through a window and shooting. It's not like that.
No.
It's very subtly
it's like
violent, but... I don't even know how to describe it. It's so different.
Like, she's a vigilante. Like, she's trying to do good, and she's trying to take matters into her own hands.
So where it gets weird, she gets involved with a cop. And that's where it gets kind of... And that's where the fun begins.
Where she has relations with an officer.
Of the law, who figures it out.
He's figuring out what's going on.
Just leave it at that. So let people watch it. But yeah, Miss Meadows, check it out.
Miss Meadows, it's a great movie.
It was one of those sleeper things that we never heard about. Well, the bonus for me too was it was filmed in Cleveland and the Tremont area too. It was a
Tremont neighborhood. You could tell by the way the houses.
Tremont, and then downtown Cleveland,
and then downtown a little
area,
bit. Yeah. And then they filmed it. It looked like one of the elementary schools around there.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. It looked like an old school building, like an old Cleveland school building.
But very cool movie. I have to say. I'd like to see that again, actually.
Yeah, it was cool. I think it's worth a watch.
Did you watch it, Lou? Come on. Do you want to join the conversation?
What is the name of this movie? Miss Meadows.
Miss M-I-S-S Meadows.
Miss Meadows.
She's not married yet.
Yes.
Or will she get married? I don't know. But check it out. It's a good one.
It's really good. Okay, so we're going to read some comments here.
Come on, Lou. I got to get my Lou.
Sir Graves Ghastly, only 30 minutes of footage survived, says Kev Thulu.
Hey, that's 4 more minutes than what survives of
yeah, with Ghoulardi it was what, 19 minutes?
18.
18 minutes?
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah.
18, change. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Too bad that they taped over all that stuff and didn't archive it.
James Muscarella says Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on Disney Plus.
Yes, we watched that.
We watched that. That one was really good.
It's hard to make sequels.
I enjoyed it.
It's hard to make, like, Crystal Skull wasn't that good. It was very strange, and it went somewhere where nobody thought it would go, basically.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but that's all I can really say about that movie. It wasn't horrible. It was just, the guy the Nazi getting eaten by ants was great.
Oof.
That was a great scene.
Yikes!
But that was but the rest of the movie, like I said, goes somewhere very odd. But I only saw it once. Maybe I need to revisit. But Dial of Destiny was really good.
Yeah, I liked it, and it made me want to watch the originals again.
Oh, that first one!
Because I haven't seen them in a long time.
The first 2 are great. The third one was a little wacky. Third one's good too. It's Sean Connery. I liked all 3 of those.
They're all entertaining.
The old guy, the chalice, and
they're all cool.
Yeah. I liked all those. There was this Crystal Skull was the weird one, but I'd still watch it.
John Biggins says a lot of movies are shot in Cleveland lately.
It's coming back.
I think it's a tax thing. Yeah, for a while they were giving filmmakers a tax break. Then the city thought it was a good idea to take that away. Like, why would you take that away?
But now they brought it back.
For several years, like, no one was filming here, and now they brought it back with the new mayor.
Hey, when I lived downtown Cleveland in the early 2012, 13, they were filming Avengers down there. I am actually in Captain America.
You were an extra, right?
The second Captain America movie?
Yeah.
I was an extra in that, but I'm a blurry extra. Dang it! I was a security guard
and
in the background at the Captain America exhibit. That was cool to see in person, though. Even though I'm barely in the movie, you know, like as far as like what you can see, I could tell it's me. But
they wouldn't let you dress up as Grim there.
No, that would be great, right? Grim security guard. But
have you in the background as Grim?
But that experience to actually go down and be fitted for a costume, and you know, for a security guard costume, and then waiting in the
hurry up and wait.
The fun thing was
you wait like several hours
so
or
they
more
shot so here's
in
the
between the scenes.
So they shot this scene in the Crawford Auto Museum. That's in University Circle. That's where my prom was when I graduated from Monkey High.
Oh, nice.
And gorilla or whatever I am, and so but that was weird to be in the same area that I was at my prom in the late 80s.
That's like when they premiered Revenge of the Spacemen at the
that little theater,
Lakeshore Cinemas. I think it's now called Atlas Theater, but it used to be called Lakeshore Cinemas. And that is the movie theater where I had one of my first jobs. I made popcorn.
What kind of? Oh, okay.
I was like the can.
Scared me for a minute.
I worked at the candy.
Oh, you
popcorn.
worked there? Okay.
Yeah, when I was a little ghoul. And to go back there years later and be like, yeah, I'm in this movie that they're showing, and I used to work here.
But so back to that. So when the call came for the day to be actually for the shoot, the day of the shoot, what was cool is they took everybody around and they got to see that exhibit, the Captain America exhibit. They had it all built up for real.
So you got to see it all in person.
They were like, you can't have cell phones. I'm like, oh my god, this is too.
They
cool.
won't let you take pictures.
And it was funny because the place I was working at the time, I told them, they were like, dude, you got to do this. This is way too.
They were cool that you took a day off or whatever.
Because at the time we were working with those licenses. Anyway, long story short, so it was even double cool. Because I worked in a department.
Because they're like, oh, that's way cool, go for it.
Where they understood.
Yeah.
They didn't go. I wasn't working it was a creative thing. Anyways.
So. Yeah, they're going to make the new Superman movie in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Oh, they should. Really quick, I'll wrap this story up. So there's a kind of a cool thing here. So, we're like you said, totally hurry up and wait.
Oh, it's all hurry up and wait. Yeah.
So there were about like maybe 10 security guard guys, and we're all sitting at this table. All day, none of us got to go on set. They actually called one guy to be a ticket taker guy.
Just to be an extra. Sometimes you're there 12 or 14 hours.
It got to be where they were not going to even use us.
And you're hanging around for hours in between the scenes.
It got to be they were never going to use us. But they go, you know what, you guys are here all day. But the reason why we were down there, and a lot of people were down in this waiting area, because Stan Lee was there.
Oh, everyone wanted to see him.
And he shot a scene where he was a security guard.
How fun.
He played a security guard.
So you got to see him in person.
We didn't.
Oh, you didn't get to see. Oh, it was all blocked out.
Oh, it was nobody got to see the man. No.
But everyone was hoping they could see him.
Well, we heard.
Right?
They said someone's here doing a scene. They didn't say who, but we totally figured it out.
You were able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't say it. But,
okay.
But when you see the movie, you see that. So, but they did shoot a bunch of scenes with the security guard guys that were there. Yes, I'm in the background looking, my head's turning back and forth. You can see me behind. We actually got to do a scene with Chris Evans. He was there, as Captain America.
Well, yeah, he would be, right?
But as Steve Rogers, he wasn't dressed up.
Oh, okay.
But he's like looking at the displays and everything, and he was on his cell phone the whole thing, like waiting for him to say action. They would put it away, and he would just brood. He didn't have any lines. But it was really cool to sit there, 30 feet away from this guy.
Well, there's a ton of comments here. Okay, let's see. Greg says, I got to see the highway scenes from my shop when they were filming Captain America Winter Soldier.
I heard them. The explosions were crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
That scene is great, by the way.
Oh, it is a fun scene, but I think it's supposed to take place in Germany or something.
No. It's not. It's New York City.
Was it supposed to be New York?
The first movie had the Germany scenes.
Oh, but I'm looking and I'm like, that's Cleveland. Right?
In the first movie, they're supposed to be in Germany in front of the Terminal Tower.
But it was in Cleveland.
There was some.
I'm like, that's downtown Cleveland.
Yes, of course.
That's not Germany.
If you're from Cleveland, that's a terminal freaking. That's not Germany.
You could point out that,
I think it's funny. But the same thing with Winter Soldiers, which is the second movie. Yeah, they're fighting by the flats, and you're like, all the bars are right down there. That's where I go hang out every weekend.
James Muscarella says William Shatner is coming to the Hartville Flea Market next month.
Hartville,
yes.
Oof.
He's making an appearance.
They must have paid a ton.
The photo ops are like $200.
We should.
The autographs are like $200.
Well, if we sell enough cups at Wasteland, maybe we can go get a.
Maybe. They filmed A Quiet Place 2 in the town that I lived in, Akron, New York. A few years ago, says Ed.
It's always exciting. I remember Bruce Willis was filming a movie in front of the apartment I was staying at down there, and there was a huge thing going on. I didn't get involved with that one.
Yeah.
But
I'm snagging.
It was interesting, But it was nice when the film when everybody was doing movies down here. At the same time, too, as the Avengers, there was a movie called Bite Size. Wasn't Mark McKay, like our friend?
It was a Halloween. Yeah, it was about trick or treating or something.
But there were friends of ours.
Fun Size.
Fun Size.
It was called Fun Size. Yeah.
But it was a whole thing.
A lot of people around here volunteered. They signed up to be extras.
And it wasn't just.
And you get you get paid for the day or whatever.
I got $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't only big productions. It was even smaller ones because they would get that.
Yeah, there's indie like smaller ones. Yeah, smaller.
That's why all those shows like X-Files that were filmed in Vancouver.
Because they probably got a tax break.
It was cheaper than America.
It was cheaper.
Than this country. It was crazy.
You gotta love Fun Size, says Neil.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'd love to see it.
There's a lot of
I think Rich is in that movie.
Local people, that are involved in the indie film scene in Cleveland, Ohio, and the Cleveland Film Commission or Cleveland Film Group, whatever you want to call it, that have been extras in the bigger productions, or they had like a little cameo appearance.
Yeah, our buddy Rich Steinmack, who plays the Schlockmeister.
Yeah,
he's in I think he might be in that. Isn't that Bruce Willis movie? He's in the background guy in a lot of weird movies.
He has been an extra in many movies. I don't know which ones now.
But he'll pop up.
Yeah, I don't remember right now.
It's just interesting to see that. But I mean, Cleveland. I mean, why shoot yourself in the toe with that one? Keep it going, Cleveland. Come on.
Yeah, but it's cool. Okay, so going back to movies.
Oh.
You're watching, what show are you watching right now that you said you were really liking?
All this STEM, I think we talked about Peacemaker before.
So we could talk about that for a little bit, and then we'll probably get going in a little while. It's almost midnight.
I'm trying to catch up with all these, like, superhero things that I haven't seen. Because I don't care what anyone's... I've been waiting all my life to see superhero movies made and TV shows made at the caliber they're being made now. Because my whole thing with superhero stuff, and if you ever watch like the Incredible Hulk TV show from the 70s and 80s, Man from Atlantis, Spider-Man, Batman, and the technology, the imagination was ahead of the technology. Now with CGI, the technology is caught up with the imagination. You couldn't do half the stuff that the imagination could perceive in a comic book.
And it was a much smaller budget for those 1970s TV shows.
Yeah, but
even if they wanted to do anything, it was like such a smaller scale, smaller budget.
But the reason why it was dumbed down to that because there was no way to do this stuff. I mean, you just couldn't make this stuff
Well, they could have
happen.
had some
The nearest thing that they had was like a bat. Well, they had
stop
Condor
motion
Man.
animation. They could have done something like that.
And they tried it, but it was never right. And it was right, like you said, you have to do everything practical, which is much more expensive. CGI
but it looks so good when it's practical effects.
I like them both.
I love practical effects.
I like them both. Because to me, like I said, I would love to see. I can't.
Like Ray Harryhausen, the animation incredible, and that was all done by hand.
But that's the only option they had. But that's the only option they had. We can't do it. But if there was a way for me to do it, if I had one wish, it might be that. It might be say, let me be able to go back in time and take a whole beautiful, computer program and sweet to Harryhausen, show him what he could do, and see if we take all of his clay, throw it right in the garbage, and go, now this is what...
he wouldn't.
I don't know. You don't know that. I don't know that, and you don't know that.
Well, then don't... Yeah.
I said, I don't know.
Okay.
So I said, but if the only way I could do it is magically, and it's not going to happen.
Anyways.
But it's still art. Here's the thing. Well, now it's true with AI. You do just push a button or type a few words, and it'll make something for you.
John Biggins says $149 for a Shatner autograph at Hartville.
That's not that bad. I'd pay that.
I don't know.
That's like twice as much as someone else at a convention.
I think the most I ever paid for an autograph was $60.
Yeah. Well, what were we talking about?
I'm frugal.
You get me off a topic here.
Oh, I'm reading comments.
Okay.
And you were talking about a show you like. So what was the show?
Catching up, right. So the imagination is... the technology.
So get to the point, Grim. What was the show? Technology
is caught up with imagination. So they're able to do a lot of these things. And some of them don't rely just on CGI. Because the scripts were already there. Like we said before, comic books are storyboards and scripts.
Okay, so what was the show, Grim?
We watched Peacemaker, which got me onto
the
we
DC did, and we
stuff.
talked about that last time.
So I waited.
So what show are you watching now?
I watched Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. Okay.
I have all 3 seasons under my belt with that. There's a 4th one out that I have to catch, and so now Titans, which is based on the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, like the Teen Titans.
It's really good.
So that's DC.
I was like, how? Whenever I see these ensembles, because that's tough. You know, when they did it, I was like, how are they going to pull Avengers off? And they totally did it. You know, how are they going to pull off Guardians? Because when you get to, it seemed to be a problem too when it had to be more than one character involved. Like all of a sudden, screenwriters couldn't figure out how to make a group ensemble thing work. But they're figuring it out. And there's not a lot to figure out because, like I said, a lot of this stuff has already been meted out in the comics, in the canon, you know, where they're getting the ideas from. Because even this Titans show, it's very much based on the George Perez, Marv Wolfman.
Pet that Louie.
I got him.
He wants pets.
Now you're distracting
No,
me.
I'm listening to you, but he wants pets.
That. Okay, well, I'm talking too.
He's right there.
Well, how am I supposed to concentrate on what I'm saying?
You can talk and pet a cat.
I know that, and I have been.
Okay.
Watch the playback. But anyway, let's see, you threw me off topic. So it's based on the 80s revamp of the Teen Titans from the 60s. But it's pretty true to that thing, you know, to that canon.
Okay.
They're doing pretty good with it. The effects are good, but the storytelling is pretty good, especially the Superman or the Superboy. And I haven't read all of the Titan stuff, the recent stuff, but I was a big fan of the 80s revamp, you know, with George Perez, the artist, and Marv Wolfman, and Terry Austin, who used to ink the X-Men. Inked that book in the 80s, so it's all good stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, I recommend the Titans. I'm like almost done with season 2. There's 3 seasons of it. But DC TV shows are great. DC movies, not so good.
Not so good.
I don't know why.
Not as good as the Marvel ones, in our opinion.
Even though I think the opposite of Marvel ones. Even though I think there's some Marvel stuff that's supposed to be really good, like the stuff that has to do with Captain America's girlfriend. Oh, I can't think of her name, but that was oh shoot, she was like government agent. But anyway, that's supposed to be a good show. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I didn't think it was that good. But that was a network show. Titans is not a network show. It's like what was it, Hulu or
like a streaming only? It wasn't like on a regular TV
because there's
thing.
Nudity, swearing, all kinds of.
It's got all the stuff.
They kill.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much death in this show. It almost makes me go, was it? But I remember the old '80s comics. I think there was a lot of killing in those too because
Peggy Carter was her name, says Bitter Troll.
Agent Carter.
And then, Agent Carter.
That's
and
it.
then Bone Jangler says, until about 2004, you could get anyone's autograph for $20.
Yeah.
You actually were paying for their 8x10, not their autograph.
Well, tell them the Kane Hodder story.
Oh, so yeah.
I love that one.
In the year 2000.
I'll pet my Louie.
There was a haunted house that I visited where Kane Hodder was selling his autographs.
But explain who Kane Hodder is. They know?
Jason, Friday the 13th. Guy.
Some people might not know who that is.
You know,
know
machete guy,
his name if you didn't.
Hockey mask, that dude. So Kane Hodder, and you could Google it if you don't know who he is. He was selling autographs in the year 2000 for only $5.
Jeez.
$5.
That's 24
and he was
years
at a
ago.
haunted house, set up on a little table with a little banner, $5 autographs. Fast forward to 2024. How much are his autographs now?
500.
Probably 60 or more.
Yeah, way more.
I bet there are a lot more.
I think this include if you want to take a picture with him. He might
No,
even
and
have
now
like,
they do photo ops as a separate charge.
Yeah.
Back then it was, I've got my disposable film camera. Let me snap a quick photo, and no one cared.
Yeah.
You know.
And look. I like. Well, but you know why that is though. I think some of it is because a couple things. One, they don't get paid by the studio anymore. Obviously, they get no residuals. If they do,
or their agents are taking out a higher percentage.
And the studio sometimes, like a lot.
And if they're still tied to a studio, yes.
Like like anything that's like still, yeah. Sometimes the studio will get a percentage of that chart. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, how deep do your claws have to go into these celebrities, like, earnings? It's crazy.
And I have an autograph collection. I have collected autographs over the years, but I have a limit on what I want to spend for an autograph.
Well, Shatner, I would say, I would have. Well, how much did you spend for Freddy Krueger? For
$60 is the most I've ever spent, and that was for Freddy for.
But for Bill Shatner.
What's his name?
Yeah, Robert Englund.
Robert Englund. It's late at night. I can't think.
But Shatner's twice that much. That's not that bad. I would spend that much on Shatner.
I mean, he's pretty epic. It's legendary, but I'm like $150.
Like, I miss Stan Lee. I never got. That kills me that I never got to.
I mean, the dude's rich already. You
It ain't
know?
about that. It's about the memories that the guy gave you. You know.
Yeah, but he's wealthy already.
That's why all people. He can never be. I mean, he's not a Saudi, billionaire. He's a Hollywood guy. He doesn't have that kind of money.
But he's got, he's good. I don't know. It's just my own personal.
But he's got bills.
Look, it's my own personal
His
preference.
name is Bill. He's got bills.
Yeah, I know. It's my own personal preference.
He's not a.
I don't mind. I will pay for autographs, but I have a limit with what I want to spend within my own budget.
But here's the thing. I understand that, but
and I'm sure other people feel the same way, where they can't afford all the autographs.
What
right?
if that was Mila Nurmi?
Well, that would be different.
No, it's not. It's an importance thing. See?
Well,
I got you. If she was alive and she was still doing vampire autographs, and she's $150.
Well, she could have used it because she
don't care. What if she was a millionaire?
Didn't get the credibility and the monies that she deserved.
But you're not. But I'm
she
saying
did not get the
apples to
royalties
apples.
she deserved.
But apples to apples. If she was Shatner famous, it was still. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that she was, on.
Well, let's look at the comments now.
Of course. See, I got you.
David says Cliff is charging $50 and Louis wants paid in catnip.
That's right. Well, Cliff's a diva. That's right.
Let's see.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is, no matter who it is or what their
Greg
status
says
is.
I got an Adam West autograph for free in 1989.
Okay, good for you. That's great. I mean, the luck of the thing.
Albert says you could take your picture with me for free.
Sweet. All right, we'll do that. But but it all has to do with how important those people are to those people's lives, and if they got that kind, as long as they're not doing that and not paying their bills, which is irresponsible. If you're not.
Bone Jangler says Mila really needed the money. She had a lawn chair in her living room and not much else.
I understand all that, but my point. It's not my point. You're taking away from my point. Like, what if it's David Duchovny? Does it matter?
I would still have my limit on what I want to spend for an
what's
autograph.
your limit? $60?
Well, I don't.
Or is it lower than that?
Look, it depends.
I don't know.
But
what's your limit?
Well, going to conventions over the past almost 20 years. Yeah,
everything is going to be over $50.
I've seen the prices skyrocket on everything.
We got some.
So sometimes, as consumers, as fans, sometimes you have to put your foot down and be like, "No, I'm not paying over $100 for one autograph."
But the reason why they're still expensive and getting more pricey is because people still pay it. When they stop paying it, they won't.
And people need to maybe put their foot down and say, "Look, I don't want to pay that much," and maybe not do that.
But the only way to know that is is it a little bit greedy? A little bit.
I think it's asking too much of to do that and charge extra for a photo. To charge $149 and charge extra for a photo, I think it's too much. I think it's exploitive. It's like exploiting the fans. That's my own personal opinion. And I know there's people who would totally just pay up for all of it. And that's your own opinion. That's fine.
Ours are only $70. Shit.
Grim.
I said Shiite.
I sold one on eBay for. We had ours up for like $12 or $15. Yeah, Well, in person, we sell signed photos for maybe $5-10.
Oh, you're getting a little snooty.
So I'm just. But we're just YouTubers, so maybe that's different. Maybe when we get to be Hollywood famous, then we'll charge $200.
Well, then see, but you're turning into what you loathe.
I'm joking. I
don't know. I'm not going to count someone else's money. I don't know what. But the thing with someone like that though, he's got a bigger...
Yeah, but you know what? I'm looking on eBay. William Shatner autographs on eBay are half that price. And if it's a certified one, if you know that it's like a legit autograph and it's like half the price of what he's charging in person.
Yeah, but how much do people pay for concert tickets?
Oh, way too much.
Yeah,
now.
Those are go see
Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
thousands.
You'll be going to Bill Shatner if you said you could either go get a Bill Shatner autograph right now or buy a Taylor Swift ticket.
That's like $10,000 or something crazy.
So it's all.
But you know why they're doing that though? These artists are charging a lot for tickets now because no one's buying a CD anymore.
Well, I just
one's buying their music anymore.
No, it's not. You know what? Yes.
They do that for the lack of record sales. Yeah,
to take it out of the fans.
Well, because so many people pirate music
right, there's
and download stuff.
Only
and
way
in the
money
past,
is through,
they used to make money through the records.
The venues, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell that by looking at a David Bowie ad for a concert from the 70s, or it's the 80s, where tickets were like $10, $11 at the door.
Oh, yeah.
10 in advance, but you have to pay a whole $2 more if you buy them the night of. Like, what? See, I have those ads. They're nuts. Billy Joel, $9 in advance, 12 at the door. Ooh, 1985 or something like that, or 78. I don't forget, but Lord, yeah, things have gotten out of control.
Some celebrities need the money, says Kev. I totally understand that because
they don't get paid for anything else.
There are some like B-movie actors who are legendary, but they don't have like a legendary income coming in. So I understand that with some actors. And I really do.
I think most of us out there are fans of enough people and are friends with people on Facebook. And every now and then they'll show a residual check they got from a studio.
And it's like $10 or something.
Less than that.
Yeah, it's like cheapy.
It's like, oh my God, this person, I love everything they've done. And that's the check. That's one of the checks they're getting. Yeah. They literally send a check that's under $1 to them. It's like, wow, but that's what that's a residual.
Now Louie's over here hanging out.
It's too bad. But then I harken back to all the '60s people, like Gilligan, all those people, all those shows that we all love. Mm-hmm. They got screwed so hard out of residuals. Yeah. They didn't know. Nobody knew about syndication. Nobody understood that stuff. Even with music stars, with Scott. If you didn't own your own publishing, you were so screwed. And they all kind of knew it, too. They definitely knew it. The people that were owning the publishing. The same thing with Star Wars was even a bad rap for some of these people. Like, these guys, their likenesses were being used on every product you can imagine.
But they weren't getting all the royalties.
They weren't getting anything.
Some of them weren't getting anything.
No, it took a while. And then the courts had to say, you know what, this is effed up. You got to pay these people something. You totally...
Well, and that's why a lot of there was that strike last year because they wanted to like take people's likenesses. No, it was an actor's strike too. They wanted to take people's likenesses and use AI and only pay them once, but then they get to keep their likeness forever.
In this day,
that's wrong. Then how much are they making on these movies?
Oh my God!
And this person only gets like the 1 day rate or whatever.
And they say it like you're just going to be cool with it. It's like, whoa, dude, you know what perpetuity means? That means if I sign this, you could just...
That means forever and ever.
And you can use my likeness in anything you want and not pay me. Just put the one time.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Wow, it's so greedy. It's sad.
It is. And that's why they were protesting against it.
Oh, please. I totally understand that.
What do they call it?
They strike. They have a strike.
They're striking against it.
They struck.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
The unions were striking.
That is so dangerously horrible. The greed is still... It's worse than it ever was.
All right, guys. Well, I am greedy for some sleep.
So greedy for some sleep. So how can we end this on an up note? How do you see Miss Meadows? Watch that over the weekend. That's your homework.
And you guys are great.
We never announced that we're not going to be on next week.
Oh, we never did.
Because of Cinema Wasteland.
Yeah, so we won't be live next week because we will be at another show. We can't host a show and be at a show at the same time.
Literally, it runs that late on the Friday. So, the first day of the show.
It runs till 10, and then we have to be there early in the morning the next day.
We should probably post something officially on our Facebook page.
We will eventually,
Yeah. And
Louie is over here.
Talk about that. But thanks for sticking with us and listen to us ramble on as we do.
Yeah. I'm tired, guys. I'm signing off.
So tired, little mummy. But anyway, thanks for joining us tonight.
Louie's meowing at me.
Have a great holiday weekend, whatever you celebrate, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Good night, good fright, guys. Mwah. See ya. Bye-bye.